He's Raymond McCabe. Holy night, all is calm. Oh, we're heading into the Christmas season. And I only tell you that because Santa arrives at the Keys tomorrow. And that's an event, well, it's commercial, but not purely commercial.
Okay.
Because for the past 12 years, the Keys have given Santa £500 for projects in Africa.
Very good.
So when he takes off and finishes in Newry and heads across, bounces his sleigh against the bottom of the ionosphere and lands down in sub-Saharan Africa, he buckets out the money, the 500 to the people there, and says, this is from the Keys. That's exactly what happens. 12 o'clock at the Keys tomorrow. Santa's arrival. Silent night. How's my voice like? You conduct me. Holy night. You see, no appreciation of quality, this man, I tell you. Are you going to buy the island? Linger Island off the coast of Shetland. A quarter of a million. But then there's one for sale off Waterford.
I was reading, I think it was yesterday, a golf course and 170 or 80 acres and all to do. Beautiful castle, medieval castle. Put you in mind of part of Nara Water Castle.
Yeah, yeah. How much are you looking for it?
4.5 million.
Ah, there is a difference. No, this is more mine. This is a kind of a Rooney's Meadow Island where I came from. Okay. This is a quarter of a million. I could manage. Yeah, well, if I was younger, I could manage the quarter of a million. You know,
get your friends to come.
Do it as sort of crowdfunding.
Yes, of course.
Where do you think? I have no friends. I'm such a cantankerous old git. I have absolutely no friends. But Christmas now, we're coming into antiques, Christmas, the whole thing, the whole joy of good furnishings, warm fires, the kind of punch that you get at Christmas time. You begin to get the smell of turkey, cinnamon, and furniture polish around McCabe's at this time of year. What have you got happening?
Well, Christmas, I prefer to leave Christmas to about 3 or 4 weeks before it. But as you said,
which are only 4 weeks.
The commercial side, you have to go 8 weeks or 10. I suppose people with the bad weather, darker nights, people are at home more, they're thinking more furnishings, house furnishings. There's a bit of a scurry on at the moment to get the house ready for Christmas, preparation, new rug, new whatever, bed, whatever.
You've got to get me the table. I want to get rid of the crass, horrible, iron-framed, glass-topped monstrosity. I want a scrubbed table for Christmas.
Can be arranged.
Will we do that?
Of course.
Are you hard to talk to?
No.
We'll do.
No.
You were all right. You were good. We could do a deal. I always say when I go into this man's place, here I'm going into, I'm visiting the tunnel of temptation. And I walk around and he's going, he doesn't know because there are mirrors there as well. And I can see him behind me going, you know. And that's, you remember the two Jewish gentlemen who had the shop in, a big shop on Hill Street? You wouldn't remember them, but they were there. And everything was in before Christmas. Everything. Yeah. And then come St. Stephen's Day, they looked into the shop window on Hill Street, wrapped the coats more carefully around them, looked into the window, and they looked smilingly at the empty shelves. And for a Jewish people, it was a wonderful thing. They broke out into song. What a friend we have in Jesus. Here, what about the flooding? We have the answer. It is the storm drains.
Well, I came in from Dublin yesterday evening and I couldn't believe when I got to the top of Bridge Street.
Yeah. It's never happened in the whole history.
I can't remember it. I
can't remember.
Rooney's Meadow used to fill the old dam area, they called it.
In the reservoir.
Yeah, and Mary Street in the Mall.
Yeah.
Down that end. But I can never remember Bridge Street. Although somebody said that this has happened in previous years.
I haven't seen it.
No,
I haven't seen it. And I think it's coincidental that the flooding at lunchtime yesterday wasn't there. But when the high tide came, wow, the water came up the drains and it came in. You know,
the manholes from the top of the Dublin Road seem to have lifted.
Yeah.
But the surge of water coming down through the pipes or whatever.
There is the possibility, remote as it is, that every person on the Dublin Road, they do have to, on the Dublin Road, flush their toilets. Could it be within the bounds and realms of possibility that they all did it together at the one moment and wham, and that was the problem? Hardly.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Storm drains.
Storm drains we're talking about, not that I've gone into. Anyway, there we are. I remember traveling in India. This is very, very funny. The post-colonial angst of India is still there. And a lovely man said to me when he was talking about England and looking, he said, "Oh no," he said, we had our bad times with the English. He said, very often we Indians, we all think that we will come to the east coast and go down to the shore and pee into the ocean and drown England."
But I must give you a story about Mary Street years ago on the floods.
We remember Mary Street well.
We had a small shop, and there was a fireplace in it.
Yes.
Because the fireplace was to heat the shop.
Oh, yeah.
And in our wisdom, we put a flue, an air pipe, out to the tide wall.
Oh!
To let air in.
Yes.
But when the high tide came in...
Went over the pipe.
Over the pipe, and the water came out through the fireplace into the shop. The poor people of Bridge Street today, this was only an inch and a half of water.
Yeah.
And the damage it caused.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't like to be in 2 or 3 feet of water.
And our dear friends, and we wish them well this morning, the new enterprise, the Rug House. They've just gone in there and they've got everything up and going. And they're all through the night, they've been on their hands and knees tidying up and going and going and going. So we wish you well out there because we did a little bit of work with you. And good luck. And, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be okay. But you were mentioning there the one stove heating the whole shop, which just goes to prove it's a long way from triple glazing and central heating that you were raised.
Well, this is in the old yard, McCabe's yard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, health and safety of today, Ron.
Yeah.
A coal fire in the middle of a shop,
wouldn't work.
Gone through a wooden and tar roof.
Nope. Do you know what happened to me once, talking about health and safety and fire in a small area? This is an absolutely true story, I promise you. It was on my folk boat, Tumlin. And the Irish Tumlin, what does Tumlin mean? It's a small bush. Tumbling in a stream, a bush in a lake, a tree in a lake. That was told to me, and that was the name of it. But anyway, on my wooden boat, I had a turf-burning stove, and I had brass lamps. And one night, as was my wont in those days, I had been imbibing of fine wine, having good food, and in the company of good friends. I said good night to my friends and bye-bye, bye-bye, came down on board. The heat was magnificent. I removed all of my clothing, was there sitting having the final nightcap, ready to climb into the magnificent bunk in the forward end of the boat. And I slipped and went flying across the cabin, landing with the right cheek of my ample buttock on the front of the fire.
Oh.
Now, the fire was called the Faversham. Yes, and it was embossed on it. And I went to the hospital to get it seen to. I went up to the hospital on my motorcycle, arrived at the hospital, and the doctor and he started laughing. I said, "What are you laughing at?" He said, "Written on your buttock is the sham, the first 3 letters and the last 4 letters of the name of the thing." So that's a true story. But those were days of warmth and fun and goodness and all the rest of it. The kind of thing that we should be looking at in terms of antiques at the moment, to try and tie in with the Christmas, and also to make sure we're kind of getting value, that it'll hold its
I suppose small antiques are always very fashionable because you can have them in any size of a house.
Yeah.
And they're hard to get, meaning from furniture to trinkets, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Lamps come and go, ruby lamps come and go, oil lamps, glass lamps have gone out of focus at the minute, they'll probably come back. Brown furniture is on its way back.
Oh, they're not painting it anymore.
Well, they are, but give them another 3 years, we're back to brown.
Brown?
Yeah.
And are we talking mahogany?
I mean proper, not painted brown. I mean
proper mahogany.
Proper mahogany and veneered mahogany, where you get a nice figuration on the timber.
Yeah.
Also walnuts, oaks.
Did you use the bad word there?
What was that now?
Figuration? No. Veneer?
Veneer. Oh no. Veneered on solid.
Oh, what does that mean?
That means plain oak or plain mahogany is quite lifeless sometimes.
Yes.
There's no grain. So when they get a nice burr off a tree, they slice it into like slices of ham, and they put the slices of ham on the solid timber. In England, you would have normally got it on solid oak, because England had oak, but it was the foreign countries had mahogany. And that's where they veneered the mahogany. That's where you get the nice feathered matching mahogany.
Oh, there's an oak today in the Times of London, and I'm wondering, can I get it? Sorry for reaching across you. It's a magnificent oak. It's an oak amply supported by spars and whatever else. I have it here. I'm sure I have it here. But it's a wonderful oak. Wouldn't it be very jolly if I could find it? Look, there's people. 2 people fell into the water at river rescue. A woman was saved by a passerby after she. This is stupidity. After she jumped into the River Avon to save her dog yesterday, rescue crews pulled her, the 55-year-old man who helped her, and her Jack Russell from the water near Pullerny Weir in Bath. What a nonsense! That's only. Consider that while I find this oak.
What happened in your newspaper? Oh no, the whole. There were like holes in your newspaper.
There are holes in the bucket, dear Liza, dear. I have it here. Dear Liza, there are holes in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. No, I can't find it. There it is. Look, there is it. You guys can't see it. Give you a quick look at it there. That's it. Look at that for a tree.
Oh, it's been propped.
It's been propped. Yeah. This is arboreal Viagra. It's to keep the erection in place, you see.
Right.
That has made you speechless.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Pfizer's arboreal Viagra. There it is. It's a lovely oak. But this is the stuff that made the Navy, that conquered the world, that through its thievery, give Britain its riches, you know. I wonder how old that is. Does it say? This is the major oak in Sherwood Forest, has been voted England's Tree of the Year in a Woodland Trust poll. Enter a wider competition. Doesn't tell you. How do they show you a tree like that and not tell you how old it is? It's crazy
We'll
stuff.
probably have to cut it to do that.
Wow, I tell you, it's lovely altogether. So the English would be into the oak. The Europeans
the oak
into
was
the
all over England, and then I suppose mahogany came from South America.
Yes,
originally.
Yeah. What's your preference in wood?
I love burr walnut.
Burr walnut.
That's where you get the knotted
thing. The knotted thing, and it's quite a complex, all over the place.
But again, that's normally used as a veneer.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to cut it and use it and to match it.
Yeah. How would you match it?
Well, you can get quartered veneer where you get half and half on the table where they do the slice, the veneer in 2 halves.
Yes.
Again, and you get matching grain or quartered grain.
Yes.
And you can keep going, keep dissecting, but it's an art.
Yeah,
it's an art to do that.
Well, you would have gone to places in the modern era. You know, if people saw your passport before you settled down, became older, that you were traipsing the world. Yeah. So before the internet, you were going have suitcase, will travel. You know, you were the equivalent. You were the man from Havana. You were the Mr. Del Monte. You know, whatever. You were there sourcing furniture. Where did you travel to? Like you were a wee man from Mary Street.
South America, Indonesia, China, Egypt. South America was probably the finest furniture I've seen.
Really?
But it was very expensive.
Yeah. It was a different world, wasn't it?
It was hand cut.
Yeah, but the world you were travelling in.
Completely different, yeah, completely different. And I suppose we weren't the first ones to be there, but especially Indonesia was just opening up.
Yeah. But South America, you say hand cut. When you say hand cut, what do you mean?
There was an exhibition. I kept walking back to this particular stand for one piece of furniture, a chest of drawers, and I examined the back of it, and there was solid oak, but it was hand cut with this. You could see the saw marks in it, and there was approximately a quarter of an inch thick, which is very hard to cut. Sheet of timber.
Sheet of timber against the grain.
And the veneer was 1/8 of an inch, and they used fruit wood, which would be apple trees, the branches cut. So you see all the ringlets, and then placed. Magnificent furniture.
You would have difficulty selling cabbage in the market because it's not attractive enough for you.
Well,
you do what you do because you have a sensuous thing going on here with this lovely furniture. You want to put your arms around it, hold it, and smell it, and touch it, and stroke it, and all of that.
Polish it.
Polish it, just, and say to me, yes, come into my shop, come. You like my furniture? You come, you buy. You would be well suited to the Egypt of the 1920s, I would have thought. But you weren't even thought of in the.
Well, funny enough, I was in a hotel called the Cecil Hotel in Alexander.
Yes, we have a Cecil Street in Newry, don't we?
Cecil, oh, that's right. It's
Cecil.
Cecil.
Hello, Cecil. Yes, but in Alexander.
And Montgomery stayed in it during the war. And the old cage lift, and the guy outside there is a name for it, I call it the Tommy Cooper hat.
Ah, yes, his fence.
And the big 14-foot ceilings, totally original. Now worn and tired and...
Mosaic on the walls.
The whole shebang, yeah.
Wow.
Super. But I don't know what Egypt's like now with the wars that have gone on in it and so on. But incredible to see it. Incredible to see it.
Yeah. So the Christmas in, will you take on a different image in the shop over Christmas?
Yeah, we've had Halloween just passing. We did a bit of it and giftware, and now we've got Christmas nativity sets and big nativity sets. We do Christmas, of course.
I'll be talking because I was telling you about Santa going to the Keys tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the Keys tomorrow, and the Keys give him. He's good. He's very, very good. The Keys are big. They can do these things. But he was talking to me, and I would give him all the help I can.
Of course.
And he mentioned your place to me.
Very good.
He said to me, I remember it in the days of when you were a boy at number 5. And he knew I was born at number 5 Mary Street. And I sometimes would walk down there and look up from the door of number 5 at the sky above and think, this is my place. Nowhere else on earth, wherever I've been, can claim me like this place. And then further down at the door, at the gate into your yard, on the wooden gate, you find my name carved with my penknife.
Yeah.
And you never caught me. And I ran, and I was safe. But he said to me, look, he said, that Mr. McCabe is a good man because he has taken with him some of the cobblestones that I walked on in those days coming to your house at number 5. And the cobblestones were there, and I'm pleased with him. He has told me that if you have a suitable chair for him to sit on, with suitable music and suitable aromas around the place that will keep the reindeer happy.
Oh, yes.
That he will spend an afternoon in McCabe's.
Very good.
That'll happen.
That's just we can arrange that.
We'll do that. Why wouldn't we, for goodness sake? It's a very, very jolly good thing to do. And what we're going to do now, I want to thank you for coming in.
Thanks very much, Ron.
Because you're a wonderful human being. You're part of my no, you're not. Your family is part of my growing up. But you develop the good, the kind of atmospheric that is McCabe of Mary Street, and it's good.
Thank you.
And I look forward to coming to you and doing some nice work with you out there in the shop.
Thank you very much.
Because it's a place that begs us to take the camera out. It wants us to be there. Because where else are you going to get it? There is nowhere else you'll get it in the town, in the city, nowhere else in Northern Ireland. Raymond McCabe,
thank you.
God bless you. Go well. Take care.
Thank you.
You've reached your destination.
Go! It's here in the heart of modern Newry. The Rug House, an emporium of retail optimism in a city that's emerged from recession and is growing fast. Jobs, sales, the future. It's all here at the Rug House, and it's a business that has grown from the most humble beginnings. Stephen and Claire Vallalay from County Armagh, educated here in Newry, and are now bringing home the bacon in the form of jobs and an enhanced economy. They are the people behind the Rug House. And so, for the Rug House, the future seems set fair. Stephen and Claire know indeed the value of hard work, and know too that indeed it brings its own good fortune. Clearly, for the Rug House, the future beckons.
Down to Max for fresh food at great prices.
We deliver free to local businesses and schools, and we also deliver to the local area for a small charge of £3. So come down to us now.
Louis Boyd's, 58 Mill Street, Newry. If you want to dress to impress, Louis Boyd's is for you. Style, comfort and great value. Louis Boyd's. Menswear labels now in stock. Diesel, Tommy Hilfiger, Superdry, Ramus Yomo and G-Star. Also communion and confirmation wear. Open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Thursday and Friday 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday 1 to 5 p.m. Louis Boyd's, 58 Mill Street or louisboyd.com.
Advertise your business here. Reach a weekly audience of 275,000 people. Be ahead of the rest. Call Damien on 078 08 80 34 75 or 028 308 34 012.
You've reached your destination.
It's Destination Newry. It's the morning programme on the eve of the weekend that Santa Claus is coming to the Quays in Newry, and we're delighted to be aware of that and to have an association with